Konnichiwa, buongiorno, bon dia, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for our Circular Economy Cluster Webinar Series number 2 on Circular Food Waste Community Hubs, preparing the pilot models for circular neighborhoods. It gives me great pleasure to invite Mr. Pekka Pentila, who is representing the delegation to the European Union to Malaysia to share with us some welcoming and opening remarks. The screen is now yours, Pekka.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Good afternoon, honorable mayors, city leaders and experts, circular economy practitioners, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking time off from your very busy schedule to join us today. I'm very honored to address all of you today on behalf of the delegation of the European Union to Malaysia on a topic that is very important to both Malaysia and the EU's green transition. In December 2019, the EU announced the EU Green Deal. The Green Deal does not only commit to make Europe carbon neutral by 2050, but also recognizes the need for collective action, as the EU only accounts for 9% of global emissions. In this context of the Green Deal, all EU delegations around the world are stepping up engagement with their host countries to advocate for the EU's vision of the transition towards a sustainable future. For this, we use all means at our disposal, from trade policy to technical assistance, capacity building, development cooperation, and even crisis management tools when needed. The EU prefers prevention over healing, and we are very supportive to Malaysia's transition towards greener economy, as well as the numerous circular economy initiatives. In this context, I was very happy to deliver and participate in our first circular economy cluster webinar on 14 December last year on circular city hubs under the title Improving Driving Livable Resilient Urban Centers, where we received at that time 179 registered participants from 23 different countries. This enabled the project to engage with many IURC cities and their key stakeholders in several regions. The outcome of that webinar resulted in 13 EURC cities from 9 countries completing a circular economy cluster spreadsheet for an inclusive stock. This resulted in the following outcomes. The top 3 waste streams identified were food waste in 5 cities, wastewater treatment in 4 cities, and plastic circularity in 3 cities, which is connected to food waste. Today, we are progressing ahead with the second circular economy cluster webinar entitled Circular Food Waste Community Hubs, preparing the pilot models for circular neighborhoods. We, on the behalf of the EU delegation, we hope that the IUR cities, with their key stakeholders from the Southeast Asian region who are here with us today, can benefit from the sharing from other cities in Japan, Malaysia, Portugal, and Italy, and to contribute important inputs to help scale the pilot projects that are currently being implemented on the ground. I would like to thank the mayors from the IUR cities, Mr. Kenji Okibara, Mayor of Nagano in Japan, and the city expert, Mr. Yutaru Arai, and Dato Azahir bin Hajim Arshad, Mayor of Seberang Perai in Penang, and the city leaders and technical experts such as Mr. Augusto Lima, City Councillor of Famalicão City Council in Portugal, Mr. Andrea Magarini, Milan Food Policy Coordinator and the Mayor's Office and Chair of the Eurocities Working Group of Food City of Milan, Italy, and Ms. Susana Freitas, Senior Technician, Project Manager of LIFER Portugal, for taking their time out from your busy schedule to share important case studies today and the lessons learned and your experiences thus far. On the behalf of the delegation of European Union, I wish you all very productive engagement session and interactive discussions with the mayors, city leaders, and experts. And I'll hand it back to you, Jacqueline. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pekka, for your really nice welcoming remarks. Before we begin the webinar, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to all of you the IURC country coordinators. Starting from Vietnam, Ms. Thao Ngai Yen. She will be our co-host. Please switch on your video and say hello. I would also like to introduce IURC Asia's and Australasia's Thailand country coordinator, Mr. Siriwat Pokrajan, IURC China, Jingnan, IURC Korea, Summer, and IURC Japan, Lena, who is, who has taken time out from their busy schedules around the region to join us today. So they are easy to spot. We are all using our IURC Zoom backgrounds. So we will kickstart the webinar now with everyone who is present with us today. Konnichiwa to Mr. Kenji Ogiwara, Mayor of Nagano, who will start his presentation first, followed by his chosen city expert from Nagano, Mr. Yutarao Arai, Manager Biomass Promotion Team, New Industry Creation Department from Nagano. The screen is now yours, and over to you, IURC Japan Pairing Manager, Ms. Lena Lendal. So sorry, I don't hear the volume. Can everyone hear this?
ビデオは聞こえません。シェアするときに音声もシェアする形でお願いできますか?
When you click share screen, you need to tick.
Yes, I can't hear the volume yet, Lena. Do you want me to share it from my side?
松田さん、こちらからシェアしましょうか。
どうもありがとうございます。
こちらからじゃあやってみましょうか。お願いします。
If it's a video, when you share, you need to also share the sound.
皆さんこんにちは。長野市長の荻原健二です。この度は IURC のイベントにお招きをいただき、また本市の取り組みを発表する場をいただき、誠にありがとうございます。さて本市は日本の長野県小布施町と一緒に2019年から IUC 事業に参加しており、IURC 事業にも継続参加する形でフィンランドのトゥルク市と交流しております。トゥルク市は本日のウェビナーのテーマでもある循環経済に積極的に取り組んでいる都市であり、交流を通じて多くのことを学ばせていただいております。IURC 事業から始まったクラスター活動で他の都市の取り組みも学ぶ機会が得られるということは大変貴重なことであり、イベント主催者、関係者の皆様には心より感謝を申し上げます。これから紹介する取り組みは、本市が積極的に取り組んできている施策の一つであるバイオマス利活用に関わる事業です。ご存知の方もいらっしゃると思いますが、ここ長野市は1998年第18回冬季オリンピック・パラリンピックの開催都市です。実はこの大会に私はスキーノルディック複合の選手として参加いたしました。このオリンピックは環境オリンピックを理念に掲げ、自然への配慮を考えて実施された大会です。本市ではその理念を継承しつつ、脱炭素に向けた再生可能エネルギーの推進の必要性を強く実感し、より一層地域のバイオマス資源の有効活用に取り組んでまいります。最後に、これからも IURC 事業がますます発展していくことをお祈りをいたしまして、私の挨拶といたします。ありがとうございました。
どうもありがとう、Ogiwara様. Over to you, Lena, for us to invite the next speaker, Arasama from Nagano City to present the Nagano City Biomass Industry City Concept. どうもありがとうございます。
はい、お願いします。長野市新産業創造推進局の新井です。本日は長野市バイオマス産業都市構想における食品廃棄物の循環についてをテーマとしてプレゼンさせていただきます。
My name is Arai. I am from the city of Nagano, the New Industry Creation Department. Today, I will talk about the circular use of food waste in the framework of the Nagano City Biomass Industrial City Concept. Welcome to my presentation.
スライド2をご覧ください。長野市は日本のほぼ中央にある長野県の北部に位置します。
Nagano City is located in the north part of Nagano Prefecture that is almost in the center of Japan.
先ほど市長から申し上げました冬季オリンピック・パラリンピックが開催されたことで、東京から約1時間30分の高速交通網が整備されています。
As our mayor just mentioned, the Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games were held here, and as a result, high-speed transportation networks were established. It takes only 1.5 hours from Tokyo to Nagano.
スライド3をご覧ください。長野市には戸隠山に代表される豊かな自然環境や国宝善光寺、小布施町などの近隣市町村を含め、さまざまな魅力的な観光スポットがございます。皆さん、ぜひ長野市へお越しください。
Nagano City has many different attractive tourism spots in Nagano City and neighboring cities and villages, for example, Obuse town. Nature is abundant as represented by the Togakushi Mountain, and there are cultural national treasures, for example, the Zenkoji Temple. Please come visit us in Nagano City.
スライド4をご覧ください。こちらは長野市バイオマス産業都市構想の策定背景などをまとめたものです。本市は、ごめんなさい、どうぞ。
This slide is an overview of the background to forming the Nagano City Biomass Industrial City Concept.
本市は1988年の冬季オリンピック開催都市ですが、その頃からすでに環境保全を意識し、環境オリンピックをコンセプトに地域資源の有効活用に取り組んできました。
We hosted the Winter Olympics in 1998, and already at that time, we were thinking of the environment, and our concept was eco-conscious Olympic Games. This meant to make efforts in making good use of local resources.
2010年には長野市バイオマスタウン構想を策定しています。
In 2010, we established the Nagano City Biomass Town Vision.
本構想を策定してから10年以上が経過する中、また2019年の台風による甚大な被害を受けた本市は、改めて目指す町の将来像として、2050ゼロカーボンを実現する脱炭素な町、災害に強く地域資源の活用により自立した持続可能な町などを掲げ、2021年6月に長野市バイオマス産業都市構想を策定しました。
While 10 years passed since we started with that concept, our city suffered greatly from a big typhoon in 2019. We then formed a new vision of a zero-carbon city by 2050. We added our wish to become a sustainable city, strong in the face of natural disaster and self-reliant through the use of local resources. Then in June 2021, we established the Nagano City Biomass Industry City Concept.
スライド5をご覧ください。長野市バイオマス産業都市構想の概要をまとめています。
This slide gives an overview of the concept.
本構想の目標は、地域資源の有効活用です。
The aim is efficient use of local resources.
本市の特徴として、森林資源、キノコ栽培地、 食品廃棄物といったバイオマス資源を多く有するため、これら3つの資源の利用率を10年後にそれぞれご覧の通りに上昇させることを目指しています。
In our city, we have 3 types of typical biomass resources: forest resources, used growth medium from mushroom cultivation, and food waste. We plan to increase the use of these resources in the next 10 years, as indicated on the slide.
目標を達成するための具体的な取り組みが事業化プロジェクトです。
To achieve this, we are promoting a business project.
左下に構想を実現することで得られる効果をまとめてあります。CO2 排出量を年間13,381トン削減できるなど、温暖化対策の推進に寄与するとともに、経済的効果も見込んでおります。
On the bottom left, you see the expected effect of the concept in terms of carbon dioxide emissions that will decrease by 13,381 tons per year. While reducing climate gases, we also expect economic benefits.
右下には本構想の推進体制を示してあります。市内事業者や学術機関と連携して計画の実現を目指しています。
At the bottom right, you see how many different parties like local companies and academic institutions are cooperating to implement our vision.
スライド6をご覧ください。スライド4に記載の事業化プロジェクトをイメージ図として記載したものです。
And this slide shows a graphic overview of the business project that I just mentioned.
森林資源やキノコ栽培地を固形燃料にして、ストーブやボイラーの燃料として使用するプロジェクトや、木質バイオマス発電、食品廃棄物を利用したメタン発酵事業などのプロジェクトを計画しています。
Forest residues and waste mushroom growth medium will become solid fuel to be used in stoves and for boilers. Electricity is generated from forest biomass, and we are planning a project of methane fermentation of food waste.
今回はこの中から図の左下、赤線で囲んだ部分にあたる食品廃棄物の利用促進プロジェクト、そこからいくつかの事業を紹介いたします。
Now I will mention a few projects involving the use of food waste, the parts in the red frame.
スライド7をご覧ください。長野市バイオマス産業都市構想を策定した際に、長野市内で活用可能性のあるバイオマスの量と現在の利用量をまとめています。
When we started the biomass and industry city concept, we calculated the amount of biomass in our city that had potential as a useful resource.
2020年の試算では、年間約9万1000トンの食品廃棄物が利用できる可能性があり、実際に利用している量としては約8万9000トン、利用率にして 97% となっています。
We found that in 2020, there was a potential to use 91,000 tons of food waste per year, and we were using 89,000 tons, which is 97%.
本市では近隣8市町村共同でのゴミ処理を推進しており、4カ所の焼却施設を2カ所に統合し、スケールメリットを生かしたエネルギー利用率を高めております。
We are 7 municipalities cooperating to manage our waste. We have merged 4 incineration plants into 2 locations to have scale merits and to increase the amount of energy we can obtain from incineration of this biomass resource.
ゴミ焼却施設からの電力は本市の学校で、熱は温水プールで、灰を溶かした溶融スラグは土木工事の埋め戻し材として活用しております。
Electricity from the waste incineration plants is used in schools, and the heat is used to have warm water in swimming pools. The incineration slag is furthermore used as backfill material in infrastructure construction.
スライド8をご覧ください。食品廃棄物等のメタン発酵発電については、 主に長野市内で発生している食品加工残渣など有機廃棄物を利用するもので、含水率の高い生ゴミなどの有機物について、焼却処理に比較しまして、エネルギー確保率の高いバイオガス化発電の技術を用い、発生する電力と熱の有効活用を図る計画です。
The methane fermentation and electricity generation project of food waste will use organic waste from food processing facilities, mostly located in Nagano. For organic waste with high water content, we plan to use technology for biogasification power generation, and that will give us more energy, both heat and electricity.
合わせて発酵後の残渣も堆肥としての活用、停電時の非常時電源としての活用も検討しており、2024年の稼働を目指しているものです。
In addition, the remains after the fermentation process can be used as fertilizer. We also expect the plant to serve as an emergency power source in the case of disaster. We plan for start of operation of this facility in 2024.
スライド9をご覧ください。キノコの栽培地の利用促進プロジェクトを紹介します。
This slide shows the use of waste medium from mushroom cultivation.
本市の主力産業であるキノコ生産から排出される廃培地は年間約5万1000トンが利用できる可能性があり、堆肥化などで実際に利用している量としては約4万4000トン、利用率にして 86% となっています。
This mushroom cultivation is a major industry in our city, and there is 51,000 tons of waste to use. And we are using only 44,000 tons or 86% of the waste. This is partly used as fertilizer.
このプロジェクトに位置づける廃棄物焼却余熱で乾燥した上で牛の飼料化や固形燃料化を図る方法。
In this project, we are going to use several methods. One is to dry the waste with the surplus heat from the waste incineration plant and make it into fodder for cows or solid fuel.
乾燥圧縮成形によりバイオブリケットを製造し、鋳造事業の石炭コークス代替として利用する方法。
There is also a method to produce biobriquettes by drying and compressing the material and use it as an alternative to fossil coke in the casting business.
先ほど申し上げましたメタン発酵発電の原料として利用する方法。
It can also be used for methane fermentation, as I mentioned before.
殺菌乾燥し、牛の飼料化や再生培地として利用する方法。
There's also a method to sterilize and dry it to make fodder for cows or renewed mushroom growth medium.
こうした複数の方法で高付加価値化が期待できる活用を図っていく予定です。
In this way, we expect to add high value to this waste with various methods.
本日紹介したプロジェクトをはじめとするバイオマス利活用の推進を図り、2050年ゼロカーボンの実現につなげてまいります。
So with the help of these different projects and methods that I have described today, we are looking forward to or aiming to contribute to the vision of zero carbon in 2050.
ご清聴ありがとうございました。
And thank you so much for your attention today.
ありがとうございます。日本人が代表。Thank you very much to Mr. Genji Ogiwara, Mayor of Nagano, and his city experts, Mr. Yutaro Arai, and to our colleague, Ms. Lena, the pairing manager for Japan, for your very smooth interpretation on the Nagano city biomass industry city concept. Thank you for taking the time to deliver your insights with us today. I'm sure the Vietnamese cities and other IUR cities and their stakeholders have benefited from your sharing. It now gives me great pleasure to invite Dato Azabin Haji Asad, Mayor of Seberang Berai City Council, to deliver his opening remarks following his city experts, Mr. Asma Zabri, Director of the Urban Services Department, Seberang Berai, who will be presenting food waste challenges, critical barriers, and current solutions for the Seberang Berai Penang. The screen is yours now.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I am Azhar Arshad, Mayor of Seberang Perai. First of all, I would like to apologize for not being able to join this thematic webinar live. Thank you to IURC and the European Union for inviting Seberang Perai to share our best practices, knowledge and experiences in this fruitful platform. Food waste is a global phenomenon that impacts the environment and society. Seberang Perai produces around 1,600 tons of solid waste per day. 40% of the waste are food waste. Around 21 million ringgit spent annually for solid waste management in Seberang Perai. It is time to turn this linear management into circular actions and make a new transformation. Seberang Perai City Council has moved towards circular economy that improve the efficiency of urban and rural operation. Seberang Perai Circular Economy Roadmap for Waste Sector has identified 8 KRA or Key Result Area to be implemented before 2030. This circular economy initiative will benefit the environment and the people, such as by reducing emissions, help protect and preserve the resources, avoid inefficient waste management, and create new business opportunities. Public understanding and awareness of food waste is also the key area to tackle this widespread challenge. I believe that with the adoption of new technologies would also help us to tackle this issue. Besides that, Seberang Perai City also promote the creation of multi-stakeholders participation, known as Smart Partnership, which is the key to active involvement of communities of various levels, and this is in line with Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 17, which is strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Last but not least, we should stand together and be prepared for any challenge. I hope Mr. Zabri's presentation on behalf of me will give you a clear picture of what Seberang Perai is doing to face these challenges. Thank you.
I'd like to give the microphones to Mr. Hamad Zabri, Director of the Urban Services Department, Seberang Perai, to present on the food waste challenges, critical barriers, and current solution of your city. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank IRC and also European Union for inviting Seberang Perai to take part in this webinar. I'm here, my name is Ahmad Zabri. I'm representing my city mayor, Dato' Azhar, to present about the efforts that have been taken in Seberang Perai regarding circular economy and also food waste challenges. Right, next. Ladies and gentlemen, in Seberang Perai, we have a clear and compulsive vision that said that Seberang Perai resilient, inclusive, green, competitive, and technology-driven smart city with a mission to provide urban services, development planning, and also infrastructure efficiency, effective and responsive to the needs of the community in Seberang Perai. In order for us to be a sustainable city, by the year 2030, we have come out with around 5 commitments that we want to become a family-focused, green and smart state that inspire the nation, and also through green and low emission development, in order for us to become a resilient city, inclusive and people-centered in terms of development, and also competitive in the field of smart city. For that, Seberang Pride has set to become a carbon neutral city by the year 2030. In order for us to become a carbon neutral city, we have identified that first of all, we need to reduce the carbon emission in our city. So we have also conducted citywide baseline studies, and we have already measured our emission, and we also identified that there are three main sectors in terms of emission in Seberang Pride, which are building, transportation, and also waste sector. So in order for us to focus more on reducing our carbon emission in becoming a carbon neutral city and also a sustainable city, in terms of waste management, we are looking to revamp the whole process of waste management, solid waste management in our city. Thus, we have come up with a program to become a circular economy by the year 2030. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Seberang Pride corporate KPIs. We want to increase our recycling rate up until 70%. Currently, we have the highest recycling rate in our country, which are around 56% recycling. And also, we want to reduce the production of solid waste in our countries, in our city by 50%. In 2014, our waste production is around 1.6 kilogram per capita. We want to reduce it to become 0.8 kilogram per capita per day. It's a quite ambitious target, but I think with the help of everyone, with the partnerships, we can actually achieve this thing. And we want to reduce our greenhouse gas emission from 8 tons to 4 tons, and also to become a carbon neutral city by the year 2030. We want to increase our energy mix by 15% renewable energy by the end of this decade, and also 100% LED street lighting. And lastly, to implement a circular economy roadmap that which have been published last year. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Seberang Pride Circular Economy Roadmap. We are focusing to become a zero waste city by the year 2030. Like what I mentioned earlier, we are targeting by the end of this year, we want to achieve 70% of recycling rate. And by the end of 2030, we want to transform our city becoming a zero waste city and also a carbon neutral city. Next. In order for us to focus on circular economy, we are looking into 3 approaches, which are waste to protein, waste to compost, and also waste to energy. Like what my mayor have mentioned earlier, in Seberang Pride, we are producing around 1,600 tons of solid waste per day. And a total of 700 tons of domestic and solid waste is generated, while the rest is industrial solid waste. We are looking to include a new way of doing, a new way of managing solid waste in Seberang Pride. Thus, in Seberang Pride, we have come up with a various program. I can share with you one of our program. Next. We have a Green Education Center that we have set up with a local university with the help of our local partners, Urbanes, where we have a digital farming focusing on IoT and circular economy technology. In Padang Cempedok, actually we have a plantation for vegetables such as chilies and also local vegetables, where we are using IoT and also AI technologies to help us, and also it is part of our community engagement process where we approach a local community there for to set up this Green Education Center. Next. As you can see in the picture, next. Okay, this is our Green Education Center that we have. It is 100% using organic compost and also with the help of local community. Next. As you can see, this is our fertigation technology. We are using AI and also IoT system. And a total number of 30 communities have involved in our community gardening program, like what you can see there. Next. We are focusing also in urban farmings. We have come up with a program known as neighborhood farming competition. We want to encourage people to have more farming in their backyard so that we can optimize our food security, and also we can minimize the generation of waste, especially the organic waste such as food waste. Okay, another program regarding urban farming, next, is we have a center in Auto City, Taman Bagan Lalang, Pematang Nibong, and also Taman Puteri Gunung. And also we also collaborating with local commercial players such as Auto City and Design Village to have this kind of urban farming products that can be sold to the people. Next. In terms of our renewable, in terms of our recyclable materials, we have come up with a concept of upcycle in Seberang Perai, where we have the very first upcycle park in Malaysia that we have developed with a minimal cost of 5,000 ringgit, and 95% of the items there in the upcycle park is made up of waste. It's kind of a very good achievement. And recently, last week, we have also launched another upcycle lane in Seberang Perai. So we are looking forward to upgrade, to use this kind of method in order to educate the people and also creating a public space for the people in Seberang Perai. Right, next, we are also encouraging the local community to have these upcycle products and also for them to produce and sell to the people, to generate the local economy in Seberang Perai. This is a part of our programs in order for us to enhance the community engagement and also for us to reduce waste to be sent to the landfill. Ladies and gentlemen, next, we have Pematang Nibong village, which have been declared as a zero waste community, where they have the involvement of the people. They have their composting done there. They have their very own recycling center. They have black soldier flies and also organic farming in Pematang Nibong village. And next, we have also green school in Seberang Perai. One of the green school is SMK Convent Butterworth. Next, where this green school is actually a way for us to reach our next generation in order for them to be able to transform Seberang Perai into a better city, ladies and gentlemen. So for the way forward, next, in Seberang Perai, we also have a very large project that we want to have an integrated waste management center in Seberang Perai. In this integrated solid waste management center, which are located at the central district of Seberang Perai, will receive approximate 800 tons of our daily production of solid waste, and they will turn this solid waste into a new product. This facility will be equipped with material recovery facility that will be able to capture around 55% of our recyclables in our waste stream, and also they will have an anaerobic digester to tackle the 40% of our organic and food waste. This anaerobic digester will then capture methane and also upgrade the methane to be utilized in this system. And later on, the remaining product will be the compost that can be utilized back by the city for the benefit of local community. So through this center, we are actually looking at 95% of recovery and only 5% of the waste that will send to landfill. So we are actually looking to reduce our solid waste generation and also to reduce the dependency of our landfill in Seberang Perai. So by the year 2025, this center will be operational, and we are hoping that by the year 2030, this can be the catalyst for us to become a zero waste city and also carbon neutral city So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone again for listening to me. And if you have any question, I'm free to answer. You can share this slide to anyone that like to have much more information about this. You can write to me, and I'm willing to answer that. Thank you very much. Peace.
Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Dato' Azhar bin Haji Arshad, Mayor of Seberang Perai City Council, and Mr. Ahmad Zabri, Director of Urban Services, Department of Seberang Perai. Now, it gives me great pleasure to wish our Portuguese friends online with us, bom dia, and a very good morning. We would like to welcome Mr. Augusto Lima, the City Councillor of Famalicão City Council, to deliver his presentation and 4 project videos to articulate the enablers of circular economy strategies to grow circular neighborhoods. Just give me 1 second.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Augusto Lima. I'm the Councillor for Economics and International Relations in the City Council of Famalicão in Portugal. Thank you very much to EURC Asia Australia team for this honorable invitation to be with you all exchanging about circular food waste community hubs. It is a great pleasure to be here today. Within the strategic planning design and its full implementation, we've been testing the co-creation methodologies with our community on various fields of action. Thus, the sustainability, the circular economy, and particularly the food waste reduction is a main collective challenge. So, local policies have been inspiring a wide range of projects being promoted by the economic sector, the community, and the city council itself. The food waste reduction is a great challenge for us. Our commitment is to reduce the food waste at least 15% by 2030 in our city. For me, it's a privilege to be able to share with you today some of the food waste and organic waste projects which the city of Famalicão has been developing. Thank you. The first project I will be presenting is the Circular Square. This project is promoted by the City Council aimed to the community. The first edition took place in our local markets in 2021, being part of a larger project called Zero Waste Markets. Here people are encouraged to change consumption behaviors and boost good practice adoption of circularity in the community. In these extent different activities, were developed as well as an extensive partnership with social partners, startup projects, and companies promoting circular economy. One of the main subjects is fighting against food waste. 8 training workshops took place on this theme, which cover a wide audience from children to elderly, with the participation of about 150 people.
Eu acho que é muito importante as pessoas se preocuparem com a sua alimentação sustentável, nomeadamente o combate ao desperdício alimentar, que acho que é um movimento que já não é uma moda, já é uma tendência, que está implementado em todo o mundo, não é só em Portugal, não é só na Europa, porque queiramos quer não, 1/3 da alimentação a nível mundial é desperdiçada.
Achei um bocadinho visionário a ideia de nunca botar nada fora de fruta e mesmo assim ficar um bolo sem a textura, ficar um bolo bom com as cascas e sem desperdício alimentar.
A compostagem é um elo central da economia circular. Atualmente não podemos falar da economia circular sem falar da compostagem. A economia circular prende-se com o reaproveitamento daquilo que seria um resíduo e a sua transformação num recurso, e a compostagem é isso mesmo.
A questão é que também está nas nossas mãos, enquanto consumidores, fazer algo diferente. E o fazer algo diferente passa por fazer escolhas diferentes.
Reutilizar e reciclar.
EcoSchool is an international program of the Foundation for Environmental Education, developed in Portugal since 1996. It intends to encourage actions and recognize the quality of the work developed by the School of Environment Education for Sustainability. Currently, 54 schools in the city of Famalicão were distinguished with the 2021 EcoSchools Award. As a part of the EcoSchools project, schools in the city are working on the subject of circular economy, with several activities combating food waste, namely by collecting food waste and organic waste in the school canteen and the kitchen. The students create small daily groups to implement the routage of organic waste. Therefore, the shared responsibility action promotes the existence of the zero organic waste in these locations. Let's see how this action takes place. ReFood is an independent project, 100% voluntary, citizen-led community movement whose aim is to recover food in good condition to feed people in need. ReFood's main mission is to eliminate food waste and boost social solidarity, engaging the community. I now invite you to get to know the core of ReFood in the city of Famalicão.
Conhecimento do projeto ReFood, daquilo que já se estava a fazer em 8 núcleos a nível nacional em 2014. E achei a ideia super interessante, que no fundo era, através daquilo que era o desperdício da comunidade, podermos apoiar quem mais precisa. E achei a ideia hilariante para aplicar em Vila Nova de Famalicão, ainda por cima que nós temos N de restaurantes e N de outras fontes de alimentos.
Há 5 anos que integro a equipa do ReFood Núcleo Vila Nova de Famalicão, sempre com o mesmo propósito. Juntos conseguimos acrescentar valor na nossa comunidade.
Estamos com cerca de 140 voluntários, estamos a apoiar cerca de 240 pessoas, estamos a servir entre 3.500 e 4.000 refeições por mês, ou seja, comida em condições de ser redirecionada para quem precisa e que, se nós não tivéssemos a fazer este trabalho, iria para o lixo. A frase combater o desperdício e lutar contra a fome, no fundo, sintetiza o objetivo principal. Ou seja, existe aqui um objetivo de responder às situações de maior fragilidade socioeconómica e que necessitam de um apoio complementar em termos alimentares. Existe aqui um objetivo também, no fundo, de unirmos a comunidade com um objetivo comum, de ajudar o outro, de termos esta noção de solidariedade. Existe aqui um objetivo ecológico, porque toda esta comida está em condições de ser resgatada e redirecionada para quem mais precisa, no fundo, não vai para o lixo.
Ou seja, nós no núcleo em Famalicão não temos efetivamente desperdício, porque aquilo que nós recolhemos ou é entregue às nossas famílias para serem alimentados, ou então é entregue a essa entidade chamada reciclagem orgânica, que posteriormente faz compostagem e o resultado é um adubo que serve para depois o cultivo de fruta e legumes biológicos.
Finally, I would like to present a company from Famalicão, Minority Dani, a dying and watching development laboratory, which provides service in companies around the world, like Spain, Tunisia, Morocco, Pakistan and Dubai. This company developed the Biotint brand, which use organic waste to dye textile fabrics, including forest waste, coffee grounds or onion shells. Let's get to know this project. Each one of the projects we have been sharing with you today is being supporting, monitoring and highly valued by the City Council. They represent some of the circular economy projects taking place in the city, boosting the principles of circularity in schools, institutions, companies, and in the community. We are aware of the current challenge and difficulties in changing daily habits, conscience, and collective behaviors. We hope public policies can be inspired by this international exchange of experience. It was an honor to join and to share this time with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Augusto Lima, the Councilor of the Cities of Famalicão, for your sharing and presentation of the very useful and informative videos of the 4 pilot models in your locality. We heard that the recent study visit to Famalicão on the 26th of April, focusing on the circular economy, has strengthened the city-to-city learning with another Penang City dropped out, and we thank you for sharing the best practices, insights, and solutions on how your city unlocked the potential of circular food waste, the community hubs, with the other IURC cities and their stakeholders. The 4 projects are indeed led by passionate leaders and implemented by their team members, also by volunteers for the people by people model, which is so pleased to empower the people using a bottom-up approach. It now gives me a great pleasure to introduce our next city leader and expert from Italy, Mr. Andrea Magarini, who is the Director of Food Policy Area in Milan, sent his deepest apology at last night. Because he received a message to attend an urgent meeting, which he cannot excuse himself. He works at the mayor office, is also chair of the Eurocities working group, hence his hectic schedule. We are very happy that Ms. Cristina Sojans and his team is joining us today. IURC program is closing working with the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, and we are very happy today. Mrs. Cristina Sojans will share some of the more example and the proposal on the monitoring and evaluation tools and methodology that can be adopted by Southeast Asia pilot cities in relation to managing food waste effectively and how the city of Milan has benefited from it. We hope you will find the best practices and lessons learned useful. And we also encourage the audience to actively use the Zoom chat box to share your inputs and raise your question. Or if you want, you can use the raise your hand icon after Mrs. Cristina Sojans completes her presentation. And you can also switch on your microphone and direct your question to her. Mrs. Cristina Sojans, the screen is yours now. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me well?
Very well.
Okay, thank you. So I apologize on behalf of Andrea Magarini. He cannot be here, but we have quite a lot of emergency in this period in the office. So I'm very happy to make this presentation here for you. I kindly ask you to share the presentation if you can, the one that I sent you. Is it possible for you? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, if you put it on a presentation mode, then thank you very much. So I will try to have a look to some of the activities that the city of Milan is doing in terms of reducing food waste, but particularly as the webinar of today is focused on the last part of the monitoring and on the particular experience of the food waste hub. So I would like to start a little bit with some information on why the city city of Milan is so involved in dealing with food waste, and it started everything with a definition of a local food policy, as probably some of you or all of you may know. So with an analysis of the Milan food system, that's starting in knowing, as you can see from here, all the parts that need to be analyzed in order to understand a little bit and understand in deep how the food system works at local level. And particularly today, we will focus on food waste. Okay, you can go. Okay, so food waste reduction is a very, very important action and priority for the city of Milan. I hope I don't say something that you already know, but actually in 2015, the city of Milan started in 2014 to work to design its food policy, and we approved, the city council approved the food policy together with the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact in 2015. We got straight to the point of food waste, because the fourth of our priority is concentrated on food waste. And for this action, we try to involve several actors, school canteens from one side, but also markets. And in terms of food waste hub, the main actors are research centers, food businesses, food banks, non-profit organization, and foundation. So all of them are specific and important actors that are involved in the food waste reduction action related to food waste hub. I put here in this slide also the link with the MUFPP recommendation action and monitoring framework. As you can see, the link here from the website of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, where you can download the manual, the monitoring framework. So you can see here four important priorities. So convene food system actors to assess and monitor food loss and waste, raise awareness of food loss and waste through targeted events and campaigns, collaborate with the private sector, and save food by facilitating recovering and redistribution for human consumption. So these are very important in order to understand and work toward reduction of food waste. Okay, you can go to the other slide. Can you hear me? Okay. So, yeah, the one before, the one before, it was just an overview of two actions. Before this one of the doggy bag, there is another one. Okay, donation from school canteens. This action is very important. We were obliged to stop it for a year, but now we started again. But it's very important. We started it since 2016. Up to 2021, 71 schools were participating with this kind of amount of food recovered. Breads and fruits, because according to the law, we can meal that has already been cooked. So about 2,290 kilos up to now. Another important action is the one in the general wholesale market. Since 2016, it's more or less 1,500 tons per year that we collect with 5 charities at the moment, because up to until last year, this action was done by some charities that independently were working in the wholesale market. But since this year, we were able actually to coordinate and to create a network among these charities within the wholesale market, and it became our 5th food waste hub. Okay, you can go, and then I will go to the point of the hub. Another action that we do with school, as you were saying before, it's the doggy bag. So schools in Milan can ask for some doggy bags can ask for doggy bags, and voluntarily school can participate to this program, and children can, and the washable, they can bring home the fruits and the bread that they don't consume at school. Actually, this project has a great success. It started slowly and little by little, but then in the last years, people and families become more and more aware of the importance of not waste food, and also because in certain situations we discovered that actually the meal at school is the most complete for some families. So also with this tool, some of them can bring some food at home, actually. Okay, you can go further, and we arrive at the action of the food waste hub. How do we monitor actual to the city Cibo, that is one of the charity that we mentioned before. Okay, this is another important action that we do at municipal level. So there is the opportunity to reduce the tax for waste that decide to donate food instead of throw the leftovers or the surpluses. So they actually fill a form within the municipality forms, and they enter in a program where they declare how much food they distribute with the charity, and there is a reduction in their waste tax. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is particularly important in the strategy of the Milan food waste reduction. We started in 2019, as you can see from here, with Hub Isola, with a pilot study and with a pilot case with some important partners that are today involved also in the monitoring framework, that are, as I don't know if you can see here, the Polytechnic School of Milan and Lombarda, that were the first partner also with Cariplo Foundation of this important action of the creation of local food waste hub. Why we say local? Because food surpluses, for us, we keep it local because we create the network among the actors that are present and active in the neighborhood. So we collect food from the supermarkets in that specific area, and we redistribute that food that is still good to the charities located in that particular area. So we also try to make this process circular, and we don't want to move the food from one area to the opposite side of the city. So that's the main idea, is to create some like nine local food waste hub according to the 9 municipal areas within the city of Milan. At the moment, we have 4 will be opened in September, the Hub Centro. It's called here December 21st, but actually it takes some time and it will be open in September. The other 4 are already opened, and they started, as I said, with the first one in 2019. So we have one in Isola, we have one in Labrate, we have one in the general wholesale market, we have one in Galatese. These are, so the coordination, it's done by the city of Milan together with Polytechnic School of Milan, that set up the logistic model, and also they monitor how much food is recovered from the supermarkets, is donated by the charity that is running the hub. So in this case of Hub Isola and Hub Lambrate, you can see here Banco Alimentare. You see the name here, Banco Alimentare of Lombardy, is owned by this charity. While Terre des Hommes is another charity that is running Hub Gallatese. And together with also the financial support of QB, of BCC, that is a bank, of Miller Foundation and of SNAM Foundation, we were able to do the renewal work that has to be done in these specific places. And also there was the need to buy and to provide the sellers in order to keep the fresh food, for instance. Another particular aspect of this hub is that the food is collected day by day, and a lot of food is fresh. So we need the sellers to, and we need to keep the process, you know, to maintain stable the temperature of all the food that we collect in the same day. So it's very important to have all the tools and the equipment needed to provide this food to the final beneficiaries in a good state. As I said, also it's very important the cooperation with retailers. And this here you can see the retailers that are involved. You can see also company canteens, because before the COVID, there was also another line that went directly through the companies and companies canteen to charities. The COVID that unfortunately stopped this line, but now little by little we are trying to set up again this process, because as you can imagine, companies close. So everything is now starting again, but some changes will occur for sure. Okay, you can go. Tell me if I'm running out of time also. But I just have a couple of slides. Okay, from this one, I don't know if you see it. Okay, from here, you can see the model. It's in Italian, but anyway, you can see the model, 11 supermarkets. This is for one hub. So it's more or less 11 or 9, depends on the area. Supermarkets involved, then the food neighborhood hub, and then theบทบาทของสภาพัฒน์เองนะครับอันนี้เราก็มีการประเมินครับว่าเศรษฐกิจไทยเศรษฐกิจดี I hear someone speaking, but I don't know if it's
okay, Christina. I think you can continue. The Vietnamese interpretation is sorted out.
Fine.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, so this is the model, and one particular. Okay, sorry. Then a particular aspect of this is that most of the people that are working there are volunteers. In each of them, there is one coordinator, but the rest of the persons, and you can see here 2 pictures of the first opening of the first hub. Okay. As I said, it's very important. You can see here 4 researchers from the Polytechnic School of Milan, because this process is monitored month by month by the Politecnico. You can go to the next slide and we will see some of the data, and I will try to explain a little bit more how do they do the monitoring process. So the monitoring process, okay, yes. They monitor like how much food is recovered, and together with the charity that is for the specific hub, the fluxes of per each month, but more or less we can say that it's 10 tons per month that are collected. The differences depends on the periods. As you can see, in summer, for 1 month, the hub is closed, but then there are some periods where the hub receives more donations, like Christmas or Easter, or depends, and other periods where it's not so easy to receive donation, but more or less the medium is 10 tons per month. So the Polytechnic School of Milan monitors how much food is donated, but also they make particular questions to the supermarkets in order to analyze how much food do they actually donate, but also they waste. So at the end of the year, we make some, July, sometimes it's a peak of surpluses, or actually there is a major request from the hub, because in as I said, in August sometimes they are closed, so the food banks request more food in order to make the distribution a little bit more bigger. That's why sometimes in July there are some bigger requests. Okay, you can go. Then questions. Okay, this is actually also another circle that we did. There is a big difference. Also share with our company of food waste management, more or less the whole amount of food waste and food donation that we receive, with all the measurements. Okay, you can go. Okay. Another important thing that we would like to share is that we try to share these practices, the one related to school canteens, but the one related particularly to the hub. We organize once per year one community of practice with the citizens, but particularly with stakeholders, in order to analyze how this process is going to be implemented, if there are some innovation, and particularly the innovation that are created. I showed you before that now we have 4 hubs. It's very important to see that all these, each of one of the things that we want to highlight is that there is no recipes, no unique recipes for the creation of the hub. It depends on the specific context that we are involved in. So as the hub we are going to to develop, and particular needs that we are going to cover. For instance, in Hub Gallatese, we had a bigger space, and we were able to create a lot of projects with vulnerable families in terms of food education, but also support to families and women in need in terms of education on financial education, or support to find a job. And while in the wholesale market, we were able to collect fruits and vegetables that then we redistribute to the other hub. So it depends on the specific context. It's very important to assess the actors, the stakeholders, to assess the need of the specific area, and then to create the network and to monitor how whole these actors can be matched together, and what type of what role can be given to all of them, and also to increase the communication and to make this practice to make this practice very well known also to citizens, because many citizens actually during the COVID wanted to become volunteer within this food waste hub. So that's why we can share. I wanted to share some of the issues. It's not only related to food waste, but we do this community of practice in relation also to healthy diets, to school gardens, and to many other topics. So I think that my time is finished, but if there are any particular questions, we can I can try to reply. Okay, do you want to make a question, or do I go to the chat?
Thank you very much, Christina, for the sharing just now. I personally have 2 questions I would like to raise with you, because the IURC cities are with us today, especially Vietnam and the other cities in Asia and Southeast Asia region. Would you be so kind to just share a little bit on how they could become members of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, and what does it involve? The second question I have is, when you mention about the community of practice, can you also share with us how many members do you have and how you recruited them as well? Thank you.
Okay, I'll start with this second one. It depends. So the community of practices are very open, but sometimes we try to map according to the topic that we would like to analyze, and also to the experiences that the city show in that particular area. We make some specific invitation in order to the organization and stakeholder to present. So we wanted them to have an active role. It's not something that it's just a municipality that present its projects, but we would like to share also good practices that these organizations could share with others. And then at the end, we try to to summarize and to see whether there are further links or opportunities to share and to create and to upgrade projects and to create more collaboration through all of them. Yeah, in terms of the so it depends, because for instance, for food waste we have more or less 30 stakeholders among partners and among charities and universities or other specific actors. So it depends, 30, 40, it really depends on the topic. In terms of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, well, there is a specific procedures that you could follow. I will share with you the links on the website. But a great opportunity, I think, it's also try to think about some practices that, for instance, in some of your cities are present in relation to food, and as it's actually ongoing, the presentation of the Milan Pact Awards, it could be very interesting for your city to try to see whether some of these practices can be presented to this award. That is ongoing. The presentation of the practices, I think it's ongoing up to the end of June, but I will ask to my colleague to send you all the information. These cities can start to analyze their specific context and to see whether there are some practices on food that can be presented to the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact according to the 6 categories, like food waste, food production, sustainable diets, governance. So to see where their practices can be matched with the pillars of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. So You have a kind of, I will send you, if you want, in the link here in the chat when we finish, all the links in order to see the pillars of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact and how it, I mean, the practices that, for instance, have already been presented in the last years for the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact Award, or also the form that you have to complete to participate to this Milan Pact Award for 2022. I think it's a very good opportunity for cities because it gives the chance to them to start to think about from a small practice also. Can be a school garden, can be school kitchens, soup kitchens, can be a small food waste action. And it can help to analyze the food system and to see whether there are some connection and some possibility to join the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. So some of you asked if do you have any kind of funding for this project. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, each project has particular funding, but we have a special support from one foundation also in Milan, that is Cariplo Foundation, as I mentioned before, but also the participation to European projects such as Horizon 2020 project give us the opportunity to develop some pilots, as we are doing at the moment, for instance, with the Food Trails project or with the School Food for Change project. And we can join these funds, and we can share our experiences with other European cities. And actually, there will be some opportunities also for other cities. And I will ask to my colleagues that are following this project with me to share with you some of the opportunities related to school canteens. And yeah, I think there could be some opportunity to share, ideas, but also pathways to start to work on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christina. It was a really informative presentation on the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. So next up was our last presenter from Lipor in Porto, Portugal. Her name is Miss Susana Freitas. She is actually a food waste prevention specialist. And currently, she's working as a project manager and a senior technician in Lipor in Portugal. Today, she will be sharing a little bit more with us on the city-to-city learning experiences under her portfolio as enablers for circular food waste hubs. So without further ado, I'm very happy to welcome Ms. Susana Freitas from Lipor, Portugal. Thank you so much. And the screen is now yours.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning or good afternoon?
Bom dia. Good morning.
So, can I share my screen?
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, it's a pleasure to be here and to share some of little experience in a local approach to try to deal with this challenge, the food waste prevention, the food waste reduction, and what we are doing at Lipor and with our 8 municipalities. First, I would like to introduce you not only Portugal, but of course Lipor. We are a waste management company that is located in the north of Portugal, and we are responsible to treat the waste that is produced by our 8 municipalities. So we are a public company, and behind all this management waste and collection and so on, we have also a lot of projects to involve and to commitment the community, not only related to food waste, but also related to other kind of materials or other kind of flows. So in Portugal, we really like to eat food. We really like to be at the table and to share food, to share discussions, to be with our family. But we have a problem. before we eat with our mouth, we eat with our eyes. That's our big problem. So if you came to Portugal or if you haven't been here, maybe you could see this. This is the amount of food that we have to eat for one person, okay? And this is traditional food. When you go to a restaurant and try to eat our traditional food, this is the amount for one person, okay? This is cold fish, sardines. This is the food that we usually eat, and of course our wine. But what I will share with you is not the food that we eat, but of course the food we don't eat. Because of the amount of food that we put in our plates, we have a big problem in restaurants, in canteens, and also of course in our homes, because we cook too much and we don't eat all the food that we cook. So in Portugal, this is a study that was made in 2012, so we don't have new data since there. In Portugal, we estimate that 17% of edible food goes to the bin, so it's wasted or lost, which means that around 1 million tons of food that is good to eat goes to ends is wasted. And in our case at Lipor, we have 1 million people that are living in these 8 municipalities. We are producing or treat around 500 tons of municipal waste per year, and 40% of which is bio-waste and 25% is food waste. So we have a big problem in our municipal waste, because we still have a lot of food that could be give to other person, could be share with other person, and now it's just wasted. So what we did to try to solve this, to reduce or to solve this problem, we create a food waste reduction strategy that is divided in two main focus. First of all, we want to create projects that reduce the food that is food waste that is produced, and also we create a partnership, a network with different entities and associations, where all together we are trying to improve donations, or to improve some business related to food waste reduction, or just social entities that are giving food to the families. And of course, we have also the home and community composting schemes that we are trying to implement, that we are implementing in schools, homes, companies, and of course the composting islands, that is a new way to do the valorization of bio-waste in a small scale. So our target is the restaurants, and for restaurants we have two main projects. The first of one is in Portuguese Dose Certa, in English Right Portion, that we created in 2008, and more recently we created the Embrulha Rapid, that is similar to the Italian colleague, but for restaurants, not for canteens, but for restaurants, a doggy bag scheme also. For canteens, for school canteen, hospitals, and companies' canteens, we have the Dose Certa project, Right Portion. In 2016, we developed a study with a university where we tried to see what were the companies, the associations, the entities that are somehow doing activity related to food waste reduction. And we contact them, and now we are all together working in a network to try to improve and to reduce this problem. And of course, families. For families, we have a lot of workshops, trainees, documents, awareness campaigns. Try to get them and to bring them to this problem. With the food waste reduction strategy, we have three main goals that we want to achieve. So we want to reduce the food waste, and of course promote a balanced and sustainable diet. we want to encourage citizens to change their eating habits, try to eat more with the mouth and not so much with the eyes. And of course, try to change the mentality of discardability, because we need to create a new way to look to the food, to give more value to the food. How we implement this project? So the DOS Certa Right Portion project. This is a restaurant a project that is more easier to implement in canteens than in restaurants, but we have a very good results with this project. What we do in restaurants and in canteens is the same methodology, and what we do is to measure the amount of food that is wasted in two sides, inside of the kitchen and where it comes from the plate of the clients, the leftovers from the plate. And the weighting of this food waste is mandatory, and all the employees need to register weighting the amount of food that is wasted in the restaurant where we are implementing the project. So we have the first phase is a diagnosis phase. Second one is the training, and also with the Portuguese Nutrition Association, we try to help restaurants and canteens to change their menus to be more healthy and more sustainable menus. Then we make a second measure that is where we implement also awareness campaign, and then we show to the restaurant the impact of doing some little change in menus, some little change in the practice that they have in the way they are cooking or in the amount of food they are put in the plates. And doing this and showing the numbers, and of course showing the money they are losing with this bad practice that they have until the start of this project, they slowly start to change the mentality and also the way they are managing the restaurant. This is some our data from DOS Certa, from Right Portion. As you can see, we have different realities between restaurants and canteens. Of course, in canteens, especially in the school canteens, we have a lot of food waste, and we need to work a lot of the children to try to change the way they are eating, to showing them that it's important to eat all the food that they put in the plate and so on. Then the Embrulha project. With DOS Certa, we find out that sometimes in some restaurants it's very difficult to change the amount of food that they put in the plates because they have a lot of afraid to lose the clients. So we figure out how we could help them to just do small changes and at the same time create a project that gives the opportunity to the clients to take the food they don't eat in the restaurant to home. So we create this project in 2016, the doggy bag scheme, just for restaurants. And what we want to achieve with this project was to, instead of this food that was in my plate when I go to the restaurant, instead of go to the bin, go to the Embrulha package. And this is some of the data that we have. This is in Portuguese, sorry, but I could show you the Power BI that we have. So you can see here the municipalities that until now have the Embrulha scheme. For 2022, we will have more 2 municipalities. Until now, we have 6, and then in this year we will have more 2. Here you have all the restaurants that have the Embrulha scheme, and this is the data from the project. This is the amount of food that was avoided, 62 tons until now. The amount of CO2 emissions that was avoided, the number of packages that were distributed. And you can see also this kind of data for a specific municipality, as you can see here for Porto. This is the restaurant from Porto. This is the data from Porto. And you can see also the impact from each restaurant. If I choose this restaurant, you can see the data related only for this restaurant. So this is the information that we are monitoring for this project since the beginning of Embrulha. And as I said in the beginning, in 2016, we worked with the university, where we tried to figure out what were the companies, the social entities, the businesses that contribute somehow to reduce the food waste at work production. And we discovered a lot of projects that were doing a great job. And what we did was to contact them and say, and invite them to be together in the local approach, and also to join all the data that we have, data from Lipar, data from these projects, and put this information in a waste observatory that we call Observatory Lipar, and where everyone can see the impact of these entities. Some of these entities you already heard about it. One of them is ReFood. In our 8 municipalities, we have 5 ReFoods implemented. We also have Food Donation Bank, and we have also a zero waste project that makes the match between the ones that have surplus food, like supermarkets, like school canteens, like hospital canteens, and match these entities that have food to give to the social entities that need this food. And they did just this, just did the match, and then they speak together and canalize the food. Related to the economic businesses, you can find here some good projects in Portugal. One of them is Too Good To Go. I think, do you already know this project? I think it runs in Germany, and now he's also in Portugal. It's an app where you can ask for food that restaurants don't sell during the day. The Good After is an online supermarket that sells only the best before data products, and it is until now it has a great of success. And also Fruta Feia, Ugly Fruit, where you can go to this entity and buy food that usually you don't find in the supermarkets, because we only like to buy beautiful food and beautiful vegetables. So this is the kind of project that we discover in our 8 municipalities, and every year and every day we are trying to see if we have more this kind of projects, and we invite them to join us in this network. This is our global achievements with all these entities. As you can see, we have a lot of food waste, food that is saved by these entities, including Lipar, the CO2 emissions that were avoided, and also the avoided costs in treat this food. And this is the impact until now. So 5 years of these networks, we achieve these impacts that you can see here. So 32,000 of tons of food that were saved. It's a lot of food that we could save altogether. The CO2 emissions that were avoided, and of course the costs that we avoid with the treatment of this waste. This is also campaigns, awareness campaigns and materials that we are implementing in restaurants and also in canteens. As you can see here, this one is a theater that we implement in some universities, where this grandmother tried to teach students how to eat and how they can eat in a funny way. This is the e-books that we create. This is the posters and materials that we have in canteens to try to inform people and give them the information related to their canteens and their behaviors, in the impact of their behaviors in the canteen. More recently, we are involved also in a EU project that is City Loops. And in this project, we are developing 3 tools. One of them is the full demand management model that soon will be available in the City Loops website to share with all the people that want to try to implement or to use this model. Then we have the circular decision making support tool. This is a tool also that will allow to understand where is the institution, the hotel, the restaurant, the company, where it is in terms of circularity, and what kind of measures they can implement to improve that circularity. And of course, the circular procurement guidelines that we create specific to bio-waste. And there will be also, I think it already is available in City Loops website to be used by everyone who wants to try to implement these guidelines. So some lessons that we learned until now. Unfortunately, there is no a single solution, but we have to have several of interdependent solutions, and all of them are good. We think that awareness and communication campaigns are never enough, and we need also to change them during the year or over the time to get the engagement with the citizens. And of course, we need also stakeholders to work all together to try to solve this challenge. Of course, as you can see, restaurants in Portugal is a focus that we have because they have a lot of food waste and the waste that they produce. So we think that work with this kind of companies is important to manage this situation. And of course, we have also in Portugal now some problems related to healthy obesity and other kind of healthy problems related to the way we are eating nowadays. So we want to continue to raise awareness for a more balanced and sustainable diet without waste. And of course, and to help the political decisions, we think that monitor the environmental and economic impacts of all these initiatives are very important to decide the path that we want to go, or where we need to go to try to deal with this challenge. And as a final remark, it's important to keep in mind that in consumer society, changing human behavior could present a challenge, but when people know more, they will do better. So this is our thought for you. And if you have any questions and I don't know, any doubts, I'm here. I will be pleasure to answer you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susanna. Actually, I would like to invite all the speakers to switch on your video and to join us for a short fireside chat, such as Mr. Ahmad Zabri. I think you're still online. Actually, today is a national holiday in Portugal, so I'm very grateful to Susana Freitas, our colleagues from Famalicão, Ana Silva, Marisa Moreira, and Paula Dourado. If you want to switch on your video and say hi, because I have one question for the Portuguese colleagues and also one question for Seberang Pride. Actually, I'm very curious, Susana, how do you track the data from the restaurants? Is it on a monthly basis or quarterly basis? And can the restaurants themselves have access to umbrella so they know, how they are performing and whether they are improving? Also, the next question I wanted to ask you was about the ReFood, because I've seen it myself when I went, when I was in Portugal working in April. And I know it's very active in the north of Portugal, but would you know if ReFood is also implemented in other parts of Portugal, like the south as well? So I thought if you could share a little bit about that. Thank you.
Yes, of course. So with Embrulha, we give the restaurants receive a package or several materials that is related to the project. One of them is the umbrella package, and the other one is a monitor spreadsheet where they need to put the data and weight the package that they are giving to the client. Okay, so when we go to give them more package, we collect this spreadsheet and give a new one where they continue to measure the impact of the project and in the restaurant where we are giving the umbrella packages. They have the access of this Power BI that I show you. Okay, and each of one can see the information and use the information as they want related to the impact of the project in their specific restaurant. Yes. And if you go to the website of Lipor, we have you can have access also to this Power BI. So it's a public information for everyone who wants to use. We also have the Certa project implement in events. I forgot to mention that. So what we do is during the events that we organize at Lipor, we have a social entity that in the end goes to Lipor and pick up all this food and give the food to the families that are in need. The other question was ReFood, right? So ReFood actually born in Lisbon, not in Porto. So the project is spread all over the country. You have a lot of ReFoods that are doing a great job. You have also Zero Desperdício project in a lot of municipalities, and they have also good data of the impact that they have with the project for the municipality. So if you, for example, if you want to implement Zero Desperdício in Malaysia, you can contact them, and they work with you to try to help you to see the supermarkets that are available to participate in this network. They also give some safety training for food donation to the supermarkets. Okay, and then you can try to help them also to figure out what are the social entities that you have in your country or in your municipality, and they give this and they do this match between them. So we have also, I don't know, a very good project that you can replicate in our countries or in other municipalities. I don't know if I missed some question.
So far, so good, actually. We would like to thank our Portuguese friends, for all the great sharing and examples, especially the real life projects. That was very much appreciated. I was just wondering if I could invite Mr. Ahmad Zabri to switch on his video. I have one question which I think might benefit the audience, and that was in relation to the construction and operation of the Integrated Waste Management Center. So my question is really, how long did it take Seberang Perai to, craft this idea that we needed something like this in the north of Malaysia? And because our Portuguese friends are actually going to make a trip to Penang cities in the autumn, would there be an opportunity to also, have a study visit to actually see more and to witness what, the sites or is, what are the possibilities in that? If you're still online, Mr. Ahmad Zabri. No, has he left? Okay, I mean, if he has left and, it's a pity, maybe we can close the webinar soon. We don't have so much time left, and Tao, my co-host from Vietnam, and myself would now like to invite our team leader, Mr. Pablo Gandara from IURC Asia Australasia to share some closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Can you hear me well?
Yes, very well, Pablo. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So greetings to all from Bangkok. Thank you very, very much, especially to the representatives from the cities, from the different projects, and also especially to those sharing their private time today during public holiday in Portugal for joining us. So thank you very much for that. Maybe I will try to sum up a little bit a few of the points that I have noted over the past 90 minutes. First of all, I think it's very important that we had very clear statements from some political leaders in the cities. We had basically 3 mayors or deputy mayors from Nagano, Sobaran, Parai, and also from Vilanova, Famalicão, sharing, videos and their experiences. I think it's important, and this is in a way again one of the key success factors for the, let's say, circular economy in the city is the political commitment. So therefore, I'm very happy that the cities have shown here a commitment to this. And thank you very much for that. The second point is that actually we have here, all the cities presenting here are quite a benchmark with regard to what you're doing, be it in Europe or in Asia. And I think it's really inspiring for many others to follow. But of course, many other cities may think, okay, this is way too difficult for me to achieve. I mean, I was reading in the chat there, and people were speaking about the good practices from Milan or from Portugal in a very clear manner. So I would say every little step makes a footprint in a way, and of course one of the key success factors, and that goes hand in hand, of course, with the political commitment, is the need of an integrated planning, and let's say a long-term planning. So be it as Milan has already with the food waste system strategy, a big strategy, even creating a specific department dealing with food, and actually for the international level, even launching this the food pact. And so I think integrated planning among the city departments is crucial. And of course, with circular economy, it's always a little bit tricky. It's a little bit like resilience. It's a kind of, it can become a buzzword. So you need to locate it somewhere in the city administration. That's the reason why I think the target setting at city level is needed. Also, the last point I think I would like to make with regard to what was shared today was the database policy. Thank you very much to Susanna for presenting at the very end this very interesting dashboard with regard to the cooperation. So data-based decision-making is, of course, the best way to persuade also citizens and businesses about the possibilities and the potential of circular economy solutions. That, in a way, it's a little bit what I would say from my side. Thank you very much for this very interesting best practices, for sharing with us also your challenges. Thanks also for the cities that have already hosted delegations from IURC, and also to those that will host delegations, as Jacqueline said before. And yeah, this is basically part of a series of thematic webinars. I think Jacqueline mentioned at the very beginning, we are a big community of cities. We have over 135, I think it's 136 cities worldwide participating in the IURC. We have colleagues today from China, I saw. We have colleagues from India. We have colleagues from many other Asian countries, many European countries today. And these presentations will be uploaded, of course, once they have been approved by the speakers. They will be uploaded to our website. We are trying to communicate about what we're sharing and doing. And so follow us on our website and also on the Twitter account. And last but not least, I would like to say that the experiences showcased today should lead in a way to a kind of pilot action. So feel free to approach us. For those who are not maybe that involved now in the city-to-city cooperation, feel free to follow us, to follow up with me, with my colleague Yo here in the office in Bangkok, or of course with the colleagues who are organizing today webinars with Jacqueline, with Tao. Thank you very much. That's it from my side. And back to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you very much, Pablo, for your lovely welcome closing remarks and this very succinct summing up as well. I would like to take this opportunity to thank again my IURC colleagues who worked so hard, in making this webinar possible. So IURC Vietnam Country Coordinator Tao, I also would like to thank Mr. Siriwat Pokrajan, IURC Country Coordinator from Thailand. We have assistance from Ms. Summer Kim, IURC Korea, and of course, support from IURC China from Ms. Jingnan Jin and Karen Fu. I also would like to thank IURC Japan for bringing in Nagano City as well. And most of all to the speakers, Christina Sosan, who's still with us, our Portuguese friends from Famalicão, like Marisa Moreira, Ana Silva, Ms. Paula Dorado, who works so hard in compiling the 4 projects for us. Also, Seberang Prai, who's still with us, Mr. Chiu Ing Sing, thanks for switching on your videos. Really good to see you. He will be hosting the study visit for our Portuguese friends in the month of September 2022. And also, of course, many thanks to our Vietnamese interpreter today and our Vietnamese cities for supporting us. We hope that the sharing and the insights from Milan, Portugal, as well as Nagano and Seberang Prai and Famalicão was very useful for you. And if you ever need to get in touch with any of the IURC cities, you can contact all the IURC country coordinators which are online with us. It's very easy to spot us. We are the ones with the orange background. So we hope that we could accommodate as much as we could today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next webinar. And to all our European friends, thank you very much and have a lovely day. It has been a great collaboration with you all, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.